Brad Pitt's toughest moments. From family strain to emotional recovery, Brad Pitt has faced some of the hardest challenges of his life in recent years. Lows in his personal relationships, a heartbreaking divorce aftermath, and rebuilding a shattered family bond. From emotionally charged legal battles and public scrutiny to battling loneliness and regret, he's been on a path of deep self-reflection and healing. This short explores how he's confronting his past mistakes, leaning on recovery and striving to reconnect with his children. A raw look at resilience, growth, and the strength behind reinvention. Brad Pitt's life has looked glamorous on the outside, but behind the scenes, he has been fighting some of the hardest battles of his career and personal life. After his divorce from Angelina Jolie, things only got more complicated. Public legal disputes, painful custody battles, and a fractured relationship with his children left him emotionally drained. For years, he admitted he felt like he was on his knees, struggling to rebuild trust and searching for forgiveness. In recent months, Brad has spoken openly about attending Alcoholics Anonymous, a step that took both courage and vulnerability. He confessed that facing his own mistakes was harder than any Hollywood role. The pressure of fame, the loneliness behind closed doors, and the feeling of losing family pushed him to confront the darkest parts of himself. At the same time, the legal fight over his French winery dragged his personal life back into the headlines. For a man who wanted peace and privacy, every new headline was like reopening an old wound. Still, he refuses to give up. Friends say he is committed to healing, to sobriety, and most importantly, to reconnecting with his children. Today, Brad Pitt is not just an actor. He is a man trying to rebuild his life, piece by piece, with honesty and resilience. His story is not just about fame or failure. It's about redemption, strength, and the belief that it's never too late to start again. Brad Pitt has faced heartbreaking struggles in recent years, custody battles, personal regrets, and the difficult road of recovery. From Alcoholics Anonymous to emotional reconciliation attempts with his children, his journey reveals the human side of Hollywood. This video explores the emotional truth behind the headlines. Brad Pitt's journey hasn't been as perfect as the Hollywood spotlight makes it seem. From painful custody battles and public divorces to his emotional fight for sobriety, Brad has faced heartbreak, regret, and resilience. This video takes a deep look at the struggles that shaped him, the mistakes he admits to, in his fight for redemption. Brad Pitt, one of the most recognized faces in Hollywood. To the world, he's the charming superstar, the Oscar-winning actor, the man everyone wants to be. But behind the cameras, behind the red carpets, there's another Brad, a man who has faced heartbreak, regret, and some of the darkest nights of his life. Today, we dive deep into the untold story of Brad Pitt's struggles, his search for redemption, and the painful road to healing. For decades, Brad Pitt seemed unstoppable. His career was booming, and his relationship with Angelina Jolie made them the ultimate power couple. But when their marriage fell apart in 2016, so did the image of perfection. The divorce was more than just a tabloid headline. It was the beginning of a storm that would follow Brad for years. The custody battle over their children became one of the most publicized fights in Hollywood. Suddenly, the man admired by millions was now being judged as a father, as a husband, and as a man. Reports revealed heartbreaking details. Brad's relationship with his children grew more and more distant. Some of them refused to even see him. For Brad, this was the deepest wound of all. Imagine being adored by the world, but not being able to sit at the dinner table with your own kids. That's the reality Brad Pitt has been facing. Friends close to him say he has been desperately trying to make amends, to rebuild trust, and to prove that he's not the man the headlines made him out to be.
Anonymous. For over a year, he attended meetings, surrounded by strangers, opening up about his deepest regrets. He said it was one of the most freeing experiences of his life. For a man used to scripts and performances, this was raw, unscripted reality. As if custody battles and recovery weren't enough, Brad also found himself dragged back into the spotlight with lawsuits over his French winery, Chateau Miraval. Every new headline reopened old wounds. What should have been a place of peace turned into yet another battlefield. This constant public scrutiny made his healing even harder. Imagine trying to move on, But every step you take, the past pulls you back into the storm. Despite everything, Brad Pitt has not given up. He continues to work, to create, and most importantly, to try and reconnect with his children. Friends say he has embraced sobriety, leaned on therapy, and surrounded himself with people who keep him grounded. He admits openly he messed up, he made mistakes, but he doesn't want his story to end in failure. Instead, he wants it to be about redemption. A man who fell, but found the strength to rise again. Brad Pitt's story is not just about Hollywood, it's about being human, about losing, about failing, and about the painful but necessary journey of healing. Behind the glamour, behind the fame, is a man searching for forgiveness, for love, and for peace. And maybe, just maybe, that's the most relatable part of all. Because no matter who we are, superstar or not, we all face struggles. The question is, how do we rise from them? For Brad Pitt, the story is still being written. Do you think it's possible for someone to repair bonds after years of conflict? Can time and effort truly heal a broken family? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.